You accidentally brush a hot stove, and your hand snaps back before you even consciously register the heat. How does the pain in your fingertip warn the muscles in your arm fast enough to save your skin? For centuries, the physical infrastructure of the human nervous system was completely invisible. Doctors knew nerves existed, but the actual cables carrying these rapid-fire messages were unknown. This instantaneous response required a microscopic biological highway that we simply couldn't see yet. In the late 19th century, Spanish anatomist Santiago Ramón y Cajal set out to find that highway. Through microscopic observation, Cajal proved that the nervous system is made of discrete, individual units. He found that cells do not fuse together but remain physically separate. We call these units neurons. They are the fundamental electrical wires of the body. Mapping the brain required a shift in perspective, viewing the organ as a massive coordination of billions of isolated parts working in sequence. Every neuron acts as a physical machine with three primary components to process and move signals. At the center is the soma, or cell body. This processing core contains the nucleus and manages the cell's metabolism. Reaching out from the soma are the dendrites. These tree-like branches act as antennas, receiving incoming signals from neighboring cells and channeling them toward the center. Once the signal is processed, it travels away from the cell body down the axon, a single, long transmission cable that can reach over a meter in length. To maintain high-speed transmission, many axons are wrapped in a myelin sheath. This biological insulation prevents the signal from scattering, allowing it to move much faster down the line. This physical architecture dictates a strict one-way flow of information through the body. Neurons are electrically excitable. By moving ions across their membranes, they maintain a voltage gradient, acting like a coiled spring waiting for a stimulus. When a cell is sufficiently stimulated, it triggers an action potential, a sudden, rapid electrical pulse that shoots down the axon. Neurons operate on an all-or-none principle. A cell either fires a complete electrical pulse or nothing at all. To communicate a stronger stimulus, a neuron doesn't fire a stronger pulse. It simply fires the exact same pulse more frequently. This digital binary code is the fundamental language of the entire nervous system. Because neurons are physically separate, the electrical pulse cannot simply jump from one cell to the next. It hits a dead end at the tip of the axon. This microscopic void is the synapse. To bridge this gap, the neuron has to convert its electrical signal into a chemical one. The electrical pulse triggers the release of neurotransmitters, chemical messengers that drift across the void toward the receiving cell. These chemicals bind to receptors on the next neuron, triggering a brand new electrical pulse to continue the chain. This continuous electrochemical relay allows a single piece of information to traverse the physical spaces inside the body. A single neuron is effectively a tiny logic gate. To move a limb or form a thought, these gates must work in groups called neural circuits. The human brain contains roughly 86 billion individual neurons. Because each neuron can branch out to contact thousands of its neighbors, these cells form up to 500 trillion synaptic connections. These billions of neurons cluster into specialized circuits that encode information through complex electrical patterns. We experience the collective output of those circuits as memory, complex thought, and a sense of self. This massive network is highly dependent on its physical integrity. When the cellular hardware is damaged, the entire circuit begins to fail. If the myelin insulation is lost, as it is in multiple sclerosis, electrical signals stutter and scatter. Messages from the brain slow down or vanish before they ever reach the muscles. In conditions like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, the neurons themselves die off. As these physical nodes disappear, the circuits they once formed are broken, erasing the data that defines our memories and movements. Every human movement, memory, and identity relies on these billions of biological wires firing in the correct timed sequence.